Hello, Abnormal Investigations. Good to talk to y'all. I am wore out from that boots on the ground. We done a lot of walking in some territory. It's kind of hard to walk with all the fallen debris and the mud and everything. But tonight was definitely eventful. I did hear some things. I don't know if y'all were able to hear it or whatever, but I took a few pictures with the IR when I was hearing things, and I'm going to post those to the Patreon. So if you want to check that out, it'll be in the Patreon. I don't know, guys. It was pretty wild out there tonight. I did hear a laugh. I heard a woman's voice. I thought somebody was actually talking to me. I thought they, I don't know. I thought they were asking me what I was doing or whatever. I tried answering it back, but then never heard anything back. So I don't know what that was. If it was somebody or something, I couldn't even say. I just know that I thought I heard a woman's voice, and then I heard a man's voice. Again, I couldn't say what it was. I did hear the scream, and the scream did sound like a woman. But again, I no definitive evidence because I couldn't see it, so I couldn't photograph it or anything like that. And then we also got the wood knocks that also, imitated what I was doing. So, not real sure. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to see more of those, let me know in the comments, and we can do some more boots on the ground at night. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get to this encounter with y'all. I hope you enjoy it. One last thing I would like to ask y'all. If you have not joined my Wide Open Adventures page, I would ask you to go over, subscribe, and help support that. That's for Hunter. He loves that page. We do a lot of hunting and fishing over there. And we got a lot of good content coming. So check it out. I'll put the link to it in the description. And it's called Wide Open Adventures. And we'd love to have y'all subscribed over there too, as we're going to be having lives there also. We live in southern Arkansas in Dallas County. Since my parents have been divorced since I was around 3, I live with my father. I asked if we could go over and visit my mom's house on Saturday. He said yes. So I went to my mom's house to spend some time with her and to chat. So we hung out, and it was later that night. Me and her and some friends decided to play Dungeons and Dragons. We played for an hour or two. My mom can get very hot quickly, so I asked her if I could go outside to cool off for a minute or two to keep from arguing with my mother. She did not like to lose. She said that I could, and she would pause the game for the time I was outside. My mom lives in the countryside in Arkansas, River Valley, a few hours from where I live. Near her house there is this dirt trail to the front of her house. At this time, it was around 11:30, but I wasn't sure. It would be somewhere around that time. I decided to walk the trail for a few minutes. I actually walked for about 15 to 20 minutes. At about 10 minutes walking, I heard a stick or a twig break behind me. I turned and I didn't see anything, so I kept walking down the path and didn't hear another one for about 6 minutes, but this time it sounded much closer. I got a little scared, so I decided to walk back to the house. A few seconds going back, I saw this thing in the road. It didn't see me, and I was glad it didn't. This thing was on all fours at the time, and I would say it was probably around 5 foot tall, counting its head above its shoulders. Its legs were bent back like the ones of a dog or a cat's legs would be. From what I could see from the moon behind the clouds, it had a reddish-brown fur color. Its torso and arms were shaped like an adult male. It had the head of a German shepherd, but bigger and bulkier. I don't really know why I stood there and observed the beast instead of running away, but one thing came to me about what the beast was. The only thing I could think of, and it popped to my mind, was this was a werewolf. After I observed it, I tried sneaking away. I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking, and I stepped right on a stick. When I did, the werewolf turned to look at me. It stood up on its hind legs. It was about 7 foot tall now. Its eyes were a yellow-green color from what I could see from the moonlight behind the clouds. I didn't know what I was going to do. The only thing I could think of was to run, but you should never run from a predator that size. But I was terrified, and I ran as fast as I could. The werewolf growled and started chasing after me. It was gaining on me very quickly. I tried to go faster, but it didn't help. It caught up to me, and that's when I knew it could have me if it wanted me. It wasn't even trying. Just picture trying to outrun a large dog. I tried to hold back the pain and the fear as I started to cry, and then I started to pray. I was praying out loud, running and crying. Thankfully, the werewolf stopped chasing me and stood in the middle of the trail looking at something in the distance. I still have no clue why it let me go, but I'm glad it did. I did not run to look as if it were there or not, but I made it home within a few minutes. When I got inside, my mom asked me what took so long. I told her that I wanted to explore that dirt path for a minute, but kept down the path walking. She said that was fine, and we resumed our game. After everyone left, she noticed a scar the werewolf left on my arm. I didn't even know it had cut me, but it had scratched me, and I was bleeding. She asked what it was, and I told her that I had slipped and fell onto a branch of a tree. She looked at me suspiciously and said, "I've seen a large dog watching me from the field, and sometimes I leave it food outside if I have it, and it only comes and gets the food late at night when I go to bed." She also said that the dog stinks really, really bad, and that sometimes the dog hangs around her window late at night because she can hear it scratching on the windows like it's jumping up onto the house. She says the smell is the most terrible thing, but now it's starting to scratch the paint off of her house, and she's debating on not feeding it anymore, hoping that it will move on. What do you think, Mike? Oh, wow. I believe that it could have had you if it would have wanted you. I believe that you praying had something to do with it to stop chasing you. It probably saw something that caused it to decide that it should probably leave you alone. As far as your mom, it's almost like she's gifting it by feeding it, which is probably what's keeping it around the house. And since she has been feeding it, I would say at the windows and stuff, it's probably stalking your mom, and it's probably peeking in the windows, because that's what it used to do at my granny's house. They will actually look in the windows. They'll climb the trees to sit out there and watch you through the windows. So it's probably checking her doors and windows and everything that she hasn't noticed that it is doing, and she's probably in more danger than what she thinks. The thing that comes to mind, though, is if your mom stops gifting it, is how is it going to react? It makes you wonder, is it going to get upset and mad because she's not feeding it anymore? And is it going to cause it to maybe, I don't know, become angry and try to hurt her, do more damage, or is it just going to move on? Those are things we really don't know. They're just speculation. And we do have encounters that we talk about, and people have reported that when they stop gifting them, that they do get meaner and end up causing a lot of trouble. I would, again, it sounds like a broken record, but I would put some motion detector lights up outside. If you don't have a light pole in the back, you might talk to the electric company. A lot of times they will set you a telephone pole for free and a yard light for only I think $10 a month is what I pay for mine. And that will throw you a lot of light, and then put you some motion detector lights around the perimeter, and that should help and probably keep it away. Thank you for sharing your encounter. I hope everything works out for you guys. And again, guys, thank you for supporting me tonight on the Boots on the Ground. If you want to see more of those, let me know in the comments. And if you've seen anything you want me to look at, leave a timestamp and I'll check it out. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel and don't be something's dinner. We'll see you on the next one, guys.